What's going on, everyone? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So today I wanted to discuss a little bit more about the FOV setting that's coming up for Season 1. So I would say that the ADS FOV setting is probably one of the more anticipated things that's coming for Season 1. I know a lot of people are going to want to try that out. I've tried it in the test server, as you're seeing right now. But I do have some concerns with it, mainly because it's an awesome feature, but at the same time, it has one gigantic weakness to it. So just in case you guys are not aware what this setting does, it basically matches your ADS FOV with your current FOV. So basically allows you to see more targets while you're ADS'd. This is a feature that I think was kind of introduced back in Vanguard. They had that FOV option there, and I think in Modern Warfare 2 they also have that option as well. So I guess they decided to try their own spin on it with COD Mobile. And I do have to say, you know, based on trying it for a few hours, I would say it's a pretty good feature, but like I said, it has one major weakness. So while it zooms everything out for you while you're ADS so you can see a lot better, it also kind of serves as a detriment because now it's going to be a lot harder to land your shots on targets that are a little bit further away. So I found this to be a huge issue, especially when you're on a map like Icebreaker, or even on this map where targets could actually be a little at a long shot distance or even mid-range, and it'll be a little harder to land your shots. I will say though that I guess the aim assist is a little bit stronger, when you're on this thing, so it kind of helps you when you're getting down, when you're shooting down long distance targets, but I don't really think it's going to serve you that well when you're, really trying to shoot someone from a super long range. However, I am assuming that, I don't think it's going to be available in Battle Royale. Oh, I'm hoping, because that's going to be even worse. The thing is also that it kind of reduces your recoil. I mean, the recoil is still there. I did see it when I went back to normal settings. The recoil pattern is still there, but it's just a lot less noticeable. And I kind of feel like, at least in close to mid ranges, it is kind of easy because of the aim assist, how you could kill people because it every shot lands. But when you're in long range, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's very hard to explain, but yeah, it's not ideal for using at long ranges, especially if you're trying to get headshots, because the heads are much smaller since the whole thing is zoomed out. Another thing I did notice is that you might have to actually increase your ADS sensitivity, or at least when it comes to non-scope, by a little bit more, because it does feel a lot slower when you're zoomed out this much. I mean, in normal settings, it feels fast, but when it's zoomed out like that, it feels like nothing. And the thing is, I'm going against purely bots because obviously this is a test server. You're not really going to run into a lot of people. The thing is that I don't know how this is going to fare when people are sliding around, just running super fast. That's another thing I'm worried about. I mean, because bots kind of moved at a fixed speed, well, for the most part. But when it comes to real players where they're doing all these different movement maneuvers, it might be a bigger issue. But I will tell you, it's going to be a much larger issue, especially for those who use a cell phone, an iPhone, or something that's not a tablet. Because even with my 11-inch iPad, it is very tough to see people at longer ranges with this setting on. And maybe it'll be a little bit easier if I got myself the 12.9-inch iPad, but I don't really see it making too much of a difference. But I don't really recommend using this setting if you're on an iPhone, because it might be even worse. You're probably gonna have to see an enemy through a microscope just to even know where they are at that long range. So while this feature helps a lot, there is some things that can help you mitigate this issue somewhat. And I would say using the pinpoint perk does help a little bit. I will say that, because it helps you. It's not the aim assist that helps you, at least in this case. It's more of the red outline. You could see them a little bit better. But even then, again, if you're on a phone, it's not really going to make too much of a difference. But for those of you guys, which I'm assuming might be a lot, that are on iPad or a Galaxy Tab or whatever the case may be, I do recommend probably using pinpoint until you could at least get used to how the FOV setting works. Because I could see this as something where a minority of players probably use. I could be wrong about that. I was wrong about that when Martyrdom came out. I thought no one was going to use that, but then everyone started using that shit. So I could be wrong about that, but again, I could be right. I don't really see a lot of people using this too much if it's going to be that much of a detriment, especially if they have to kill at a super long range. As for those who use phones, obviously I think you should just stick with the normal settings that you've always had. But the thing is that you might be at a disadvantage if there are tablet players out there that kind of like already adjusted to this new FOV setting. However, I could see the iPad versus iPhone debate coming back to like bite everyone in the ass, especially with this, because I think there are going to be quite a bit of like phone players that believe that this is going to be a very unfair advantage for people that, you know, are on phones, obviously. But yeah, people that use iPads, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people complaining that it's going to be too much of an unfair advantage since they have a much better FOV setting. It's much like the Warzone issue, you know, when it came to console versus PC, where people from console were complaining that PC has an unfair advantage because they were able to have like some sort of FOV setting when they were just playing Warzone. I feel like that's kind of going to be a thing again, unless they somehow mitigate the issue before the update comes out. Maybe it won't be as bad on phone, but I don't really see that happening. Like, my best suggestion is to probably have some sort of slider for that ADS FOV option. Look, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of being zoomed out while ADS so you could see people more better, so you could, like, you know, maybe take more people out with, like, in gunfights and shit, but if it's gonna zoom out that hard, it's gonna fucking suck. That's why I recommend having a slider so you could, like, kind of fine-tune it in a way that it suits you like very well. Like, it doesn't zoom out too hard and you can still see people from like mid to long ranges. Like, really, I don't want to squint every single time like I want to get a long shot or even a headshot at that. But yeah, anyways, that's my take on the FOV option. I thought I'd make the video right now since the update is a little bit closer now compared to before. So yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this FOV option. Let me know if you guys are going to use it. So yeah, anyways, have a good day, guys.